Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to LCA's Career and Stewardship Bootcamp 9.0. I'm excited to welcome you. My name is Gbenga Rufai. Unfortunately, I can't be with you in person, but I'm excited to still get the opportunity to be able to speak with you. So, Career and Stewardship Bootcamp, this is the 9th edition. And all through the years that we've done and hosted this program, one of the things that excites me is when I look at the lives of participants who have attended, from the first edition with just about 30 something young people in class to now that we're having hundreds of people in the hall. When I look at their lives, and I see the results that they are beginning to achieve, it gives me nothing but joy. But before you get going this morning, I know you're all ready to go. Our lineup of speakers are excited to come to you and speak with you. I want to share a few things with you. Take it more like a foundation laying. Want to build something in the next 2 days. But before we get going, I want to lay a foundation on a topic that is actually very dear to my heart. And it's something that is born out of looking at the lives of people. And by that, I mean, you see people with so much potential and you begin to find a disconnect between their potential and the results that their lives bear. So I want to talk to you about things around your dreams. 5 keys to moving you from the realm of your dreams to actually bringing it to reality. So I want to talk about one of those 5 keys, and I want you to bring out your notepads, whatever your writing materials, and take these important notes. So the first one, when I talk about dreams here, I'm not necessarily talking about what you see when you sleep and you dream that you're a billionaire. No, that's not what I'm talking about. While that might be part of it, that's not the core. I'm talking about your dreams as a desired end state, a desired outcome that you want to see either in one area of your life or literally entirely every aspect of your life. So that's your dream there. And you must realize that while you may not have so much financial resources at this stage of your life, one of the most precious things you actually do have and which you must protect with every fiber of your being is your dream. So it means that you must make sure that you got it. It's like the cell. It's like the nucleus that from which every other thing that's going to find expression in your life actually comes from. So your dream is not an end state. It's a pursuit. There was this movie, popular movie by a gentleman by the name Will Smith. We talked about the pursuit of happiness. So your dream is like a pursuit. It's a journey. And every day that you take one action in pursuit of it, it actually brings you close to it. So let me ask you a quick question. How many times have you seen somebody, right? And the person shared their dreams. I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that. But after a few number of years down the line, there seems to be a gap between what their dream was and what the reality played out in the future. While all those things might not have been in their control, but it's painful to watch, to see people with so much, potential. They have great dreams and they are not able to actually, bring it to fruition. So I want to share with you these 5 keys. Like I said, bring out your notes and I'm going to be running through. For those of you who've listened to me speak, it may come fast. It's going to be like a bullet train. We're going to touch on these key 5 points, but I want you to take very good note of them. Now, let me say that it is the 5 keys I'm going to be sharing with you today. It's not in any particular order, which means one is not number 5 or number 3. It's not in any particular order. And also, I wanted to hold this on the other hand of your hand, or your other hand, is that there is a baseline. Now, the baseline for the actualization of any dream, look at any amazing person you see on earth doing great things, or anybody that you look and you totally admire, want to be like, there is a baseline. And that baseline is what I call knowledge, your skill, and your wisdom. Knowledge are the things that you know, what you know, your mental capacity. It talks about what you know, you write in your head. While skill is what you are able to do. How many of you have met somebody that knows something but really can't bring it to practice? So you want to transit your knowledge to the realm of the skills. Now, beyond the skill also then is the application of not only your knowledge and your skill, but also that talk about the wisdom there, which means how you get things done. Now, these 3 factors I just shared with you is the baseline. These are not the 5 keys I'm talking about. I'm just establishing that any of the keys I'm going to be sharing with you, the starting point for you is getting knowledge, which you are getting through formal education, although there are different methods by which you can get knowledge beyond formal education, all right? So you have your knowledge there. Then the second one is the skill and your wisdom. Now, this is a starting point. If you do not have any of these 3, then the 5 keys I'm going to be sharing with you will not be of much use to you. So let's go. The very first thing you want to bring to bear here in the pursuit and the actualization of your dream is what I call clarity. Now, at LCA, one of our core tenets and belief is that in every human you find on earth, there is within them a very intricate web of uniqueness, which could be their talents, is their abilities. It's locked all in there. But you see, no matter how fast you run in a particular wrong direction, you will never arrive at your desired destination. I'll take that again. No matter how fast you run in a wrong direction, you will never arrive at the right destination. And so the very first point where you have to start from is getting that level of clarity. And I'm going to read a definition from Merriam-Webster's dictionary here. And it says clarity refers to the state of being clear, easily understood, and free from confusion or ambiguity. What the dictionary definition is saying to you here is that there has to be a level of clarity. Now, let me say also that when we talk about clarity, clarity is not always absolute, which means there doesn't come a day in the pursuit of your dream whereby you're suddenly 100% clear. You must expect that the level of clarity that you have on that item will evolve in the light of changes. So let's say, for example, 5 years ago, you were very clear that you wanted to be an IT specialist. Now, in the light of today's world, you would realize that with the emergence of artificial intelligence, what you thought you were very clear about has changed. The goalpost has changed. So you have to start from that clarity. And when we talk about clarity, there are different kinds of clarity. We are talking about clarity of vision. We are talking about clarity of purpose. We are talking about clarity of direction and self. But you must ask yourself certain questions, right? To get that clarity. What am I good at? The very first thing you should write down is what am I good at? And I'm going to give you an exercise at the end, which I feel will help you in your journey. Is ask yourself, what am I good at? Oftentimes you hear people say the things that they are not good at. For example, people will say, I'm not good at math. I'm not good at arts. I'm not good at science. But have you ever asked yourself, what are those 3 to 5 things that I am very good at? And how do you get the feedback? Ask from somebody. Sit with yourself, write 5 things, 3 to 5 things, and ask yourself also, what are those things that I struggle with? In my opinion, there is nothing like a dull student. There is nothing like a student that is totally useless. There is nothing like somebody that is totally not useful. The difference is that it's either they have not taken time to get clarity on what they are good at, either they have not found themselves in the appropriate environment that harnesses their skills and their uniqueness, or that they've not been taught how to hone what they're good at. I remember I was watching a documentary about the famous former heavyweight boxing champion of the world, Muhammad Ali, and he said that he wasn't good at so many other things, but there was something he found while he was training in the boxing ring was his footwork, was how he was able to weave, how he was able to dodge the blows that were coming. And he knew that he could be good at it, and he became very good at it. So what I'm saying in essence is that when you come to a boot camp like this, one of the things you should pay attention to is to get clarity. Now, one of the things that aids your acquisition of clarity is knowledge, insight. The more knowledge people share, as the different amazing speakers will be sharing with you, some of the things they'll be saying to you will be bringing so much clarity to your mind. Okay, so that's the very first key one. Clarity in direction will do more for you than speed in the wrong direction. Let's go to key number 2. Make it visual. So sometimes people have clarity to say, I have this fantastic dream. I want to study in a high Ivy League university, but they never wrote it down. What is called Cas Bootcamp today started more than 12 to 30, about 13 years ago, right? When the vision for LCA came, it was written down. Some of the programs we're doing today were things that I wrote down in my room at the time. So what I'm saying to you is that once you get clarity, you have to write those dreams down. What you hear, you might doubt, but what you see becomes difficult to doubt. I'll take that again. You might hear it and doubt it, but when you see it, it becomes very difficult for you to doubt. So what I'm saying in essence is that if there is a dream you have, for example, you want to work in, just name any famous bank in Nigeria. Let's say, for example, I want to work in Guaranty Trust Bank. I work with them. Shout out to Guaranty Trust Bank family around the world. But you want to work in Guaranty Trust Bank. The head office, take a walk there. Go to their head office and just look at the high rise. And that's the beauty of your dreams, is that you don't have to pay to actually dream. So make it visual to yourself. There's something you want to achieve, write it down. Write it and keep it in a place where you can see it from time to time. So in the next 2 days, some of you, as you are listening to the different speakers, as you are listening to me, some of the dreams that is embedded and locked within your heart begins to come to the surface once more. And I want you to write it down. I want you to write it down. If it's an institution, for example, you want to study in Harvard, you may not have the flight tickets to go to Harvard, but one thing you can do, you can go online. I remember many years back in the day, the internet wasn't a big thing. And if we wanted to know about universities abroad, we had to write a letter, and mail it to the post office, and they will send us a brochure. And when they send us that brochure, you begin to look at the pages of those institutions. You literally are transported there. I want to encourage you to do the same thing. So number 2, what did I say? The second key is for you to write it down, make it visible for you to see. While other speakers are speaking to you in the next 2 days, you may catch a dream. Maybe you came here and you didn't even have a dream, you may catch a dream. Once you do, make sure you put pen to paper. If it's a picture, screen grab it, make it your wallpaper. The more you see it, psychologists have taught us, is that the more you see something, the closer and the more real it becomes actually to you. So let's talk about the third thing here. The third thing I want to talk about is feedback. Feedback. Now, you started with clarity, you have more clarity in what you want to do. You then took it a notch further. You began to, put pen to paper. The third thing you must expect to do as you pursue your dream, as you attempt to transit it from the realm of being intangible to the realm of tangibility, is be ready to take feedback. Now, what does it mean? I'll tell you this. I do not know of anybody, any organization that has done amazing things in life that did not accept feedback. I know feedback hurts. To be honest with you, I'm human. I can testify. Feedback doesn't feel fine. It doesn't feel enjoyable. But you will never become something of significance in life if you've not wired your mind to take feedback. Feedback is the unpleasant sound to ensure we course correct. So take, for example, a sound engineer, when you're doing the mic check 1, 2, 3, mic check 1, 2, 3. One of the things that happens is if you do not adjust your mixer very well, you will get a noise. How many of us can recognize that noise? There's this very screechy kind of not pleasant noise. It's feedback. What that feedback is telling the sound engineer is that you actually have to tune in those decibels. You have to tune in certain buttons and for you to get something accurate. I will be lying to you if I say that the pursuit of your dreams is just going to be a straight line. I will be lying to you. Your dreams is not going to be a straight line. It's going to have ups, it's going to be having downs, but you must be willing to take feedback. 2 examples for you on this matter of feedback, because I feel it's very poignant particularly for this generation, to be able to accept feedback. So the story is told, real life story, that there was this airline in one part of the world whereby, they were having crashes. They were having a high number of crashes. They sent the best engineers they couldn't fix or know what the problem was. They sent the best scientists they couldn't. Guess who solved it? People who studied sociology. And they found that in the culture of that particular region, the main pilot was usually way older than the younger one. And so, which is the co-pilot or the first officer. So usually they found that when they listen to the black box, the co-pilot, who's usually younger, is the first person who identifies the problem, but is either afraid, or when he tells the main pilot, they don't act on it because of the age disparity. They're not accepting that feedback. And it had been leading to crashes. So you see how important it is for you to be able to take in feedback. And when you get feedback, you must be able to distinguish between feedback and noise, because you get all sorts of feedback. You want to know the one that is constructive. And you see, feedback has what I call the 4 voices of feedback. The very first voice of feedback is failure. Nobody likes failure. I feel that certain things in life. All right. And failure is literally the final outcome in something you're trying to pursue. It's a bit different from setback. Failure is literally usually comes with a measure of finality. Setback simply means a hiccup. So, for example, if you're a student, you want to get a first class, or let's say you want to get an A in a particular course. Now, when you did the continuous assessment, maybe a project or a term paper or a test, let's say you got 15/20, that's not failure, that's a setback, because your goal is to get an A. But imagine you've done all of that, you wrote the exam and it was an F, and then we call that failure. So that's the second voice. The first voice of feedback is failure. The second voice of feedback is what I call the setback. The third one is what I call the constructive criticism. How do you know a criticism is constructive? It happens whereby the target is not on your person and it's about the output you produced. All right. So you get that criticism there. People maybe tell you, oh, we don't like this product, it doesn't taste well. Do not take it personal. You step back and say, okay, what else can I adjust? You wrote an exam, it didn't come out. Don't get bitter about it. Desire to get better about it, and say, what can I change? What can I tweak? Is it the method I answered the question? Is it how I wrote? Is it that my writing wasn't legible? Or my application got refused for that scholarship? What was it that I missed? So you have to be ready to take that feedback. If you're going to achieve your dream, believe me when I say that feedback is going to come, whether you asked for it or you do not. The fourth voice of feedback is what I call frustration. So frustration is that thing that just always gets under your skin. For some of you, you just get easily frustrated whereby you don't get served well in an organization. You get frustrated when something is not working well. Usually, we found over time that your frustration sometimes is the voice of your calling. I'll take that again. Sometimes, not every time, frustration, the things that frustrate you, the thing that gets under your skin can be an indicator of your calling, whispering to you that you have been created to solve me. And that is why you are getting irritated about it. Okay, so that is the feedback there. So be ready to receive feedback, because the feedback will come. And so when it comes, don't get bitter. You may weep or be sad about it. I've been rejected at places, right, where I've tried to get stuff before, so I understand what it means. But take it as feedback, because you see, you will never grow if you do not learn how to take feedback. Let's talk about the fourth one. The fourth key I'm sharing with you this morning is what I call the association you keep. Just call it association. And why do I say that? Because research has shown time and time again that we are the sum total of the relationships around us. What do I mean by that? If you spend time with 5 foolish people, you are likely to also become foolish or make foolish actions. If you spend time with 5 very smart people, you are most likely to pick the habits of the smart. So what I want to say to you is that spend time and try to hang around people that are smart. Research has shown also that one of the factors that causes a huge amount of juvenile delinquency or juvenile crime is by association. I've heard of stories of people that the only way they ended up in jail was because of the association they keep. And so I can guarantee you that if the association you keep is on a journey to success, it's only a matter of time before that success rubs off on you. So the question I'm asking you as you listen to me this morning is that what are you doing? Maybe the association you keep, you know they are not healthy. It's time to step away. It's time to ask yourself, where this association, these friends and peers of mine that I hang out with, where they're headed, is that where I want to end up? If they're not on their journey to becoming successful in life, if they're not on a journey to becoming something, making something tangible out of their life, I dare say that it's time for you to check out. I'm with you today, key number 5. I call it your valid excuses. One of the things that will hinder people from becoming anything tangible, note I did not call it your excuses, your valid excuses. Now, what are your valid excuses? Your valid excuses are those things that happen to you without your consent. There were events that happened around your life without you having literal control. And I'll give you a few examples. One of them is the home in which you were born. Some people just got lucky, they were born in a family of fortune or highly educated family, but some people, that's not the card that life dealt to them. So let's say, for example, you're born in a country or in a town or in a city that doesn't have all the amenities. That's not your fault. But do you know that it can become a valid excuse? Your valid excuse can become so much of a weight around you that every time you want to move, it's the lie you tell yourself that just because I've been born in this area, I cannot make something out of it. You might not have had control to be born in a particular family or to find yourself living in a particular neighborhood, but you have control to a large extent over how you respond to them. So I don't want you to go with the mindset of becoming a victim. Never have a victim mindset. Never tell yourself that I'm a victim, nothing else good can come out of me. Always say to yourself that I refuse to be a victim. And can I say to you, and I'm saying this with all sense of respect to the background or the challenges you might have found yourself, it's not your fault. Stop blaming yourself about them. Okay? It's time for you to say to yourself, I didn't have control over this happening to me, but I do have control over what's going to happen. And in these 2 days at this boot camp, I want you to say to yourself that I am quitting the valid excuses. Now, I've mentioned those 5 keys to you. I've talked about getting clarity. I've talked about, getting feedback. I've talked about quitting your valid excuses. Now it's time for you to take action. And so the question I want to leave you with, and I'm going to give you 3 exercises for you to do, is with all I've just shared, with all you've heard, what are you going to do with this information? What does that look like to you next year when we're celebrating Cas Bootcamp? And by the way, next year is going to be 10 years of Cas Bootcamp. 2026 is going to be phenomenal. But while you are here, when we share your testimonial next year, when we call people out to say, hey, come share your experience between last year, what are you going to be sharing? Are we going to be hearing you talk about how your dreams is gradually becoming reality? Or are you going to be telling us how your dreams have been shortchanged? You alone can provide that answer. And so it's time for you to take action. It's time for you to go after it. It's often said, you miss 100% of the shots you do not take. And so here's the exercise I have for you. In your notepad, identify 3 to 5 things you know and that people tell you that you are very good at. I'll take that again. Exercise number 1, you write down 3 to 5 things that you know or that people have told you that you are really good at. Exercise number 2, write down just 1 to 3 things that you struggle with. And there's a reason for these exercises, because there's a reason I ask you to write 5 things you're good at, because you want to focus on the areas of your strengths, not only on the areas of your weaknesses. And the third one that I want you to do, I want you to write a letter to your future self. Just add, if you're 15, add 3 to it. If you're 18, add 3 to that, makes you 21. So write a letter to your future self in the next 3 years and tell yourself what you expect to see. And when you write that letter, I don't want you to just bury it somewhere. I want you to keep it where you can see it from time to time. In conclusion, once more, I want to welcome you specially to Career and Stewardship Bootcamp 9.0 on behalf of the Board of Directors for Liberty Career Academy. We're excited to have you here. I wish you nothing but the best, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Have a wonderful bootcamp experience.